Can't you sit properly? What's wrong with your look? Keep quiet. I think as a student, as a kid, we have heard these lines thousands of times, isn't it? Relax, don't worry. I'm not going to scold you or nag you, but today we are going to talk about a girl whose name is Amanda, and she was continuously nagged or scolded by her parent, and just because she has made some mistake, and they were just pointed out the mistakes of this little girl, and this little girl considers this mistake are not just part of the code of good conduct which is laid out by the society in which we live. I hope everyone has gone through these kinds of nagging and scolding. So here we have the central character, that is Amanda, and she is continuously nagged or scolded by her parent. It is not just like that they don't love her, but the thing is that they want to make her perfect in each and every directions, and as a result of it they used to nag at her so much so that the girls wants to escape from this nagging. And what are her imagination, what are her escapism is well depicted in this poem. By our poetess, who is Robin Klein. So Robin McMahon is an Australian author of books for children. So basically, she is the children writer. She writes about the children in her books, and she writes children's and young adult fictions as well. Some of her famous books are Hating Elysian Ashley, People Might Hear You, etc. Science fiction author Robin Klein. So generally she used to write science fiction. So it is one of she is one of 9 children. So there are she has 8 siblings, and she had her first short story published at the age of 16 and won her only school prize for writing. So at the age of 16 she has started her literary career. Sorry. In 1981, she was awarded a Literature Board grant for writing, and since then she has had more than 40 books published, and many have been shortlisted for the Australian Children Books of the Year award. Her ear for dialogues, gift for social observations, and mastery of storytelling makes her one of the Australians' most versatile and best loved writers. Klein was awarded the Dromkin Medal for her significant contributions to the appreciation and developments of children's literature in Australia. So basically she is the children's writer, and she has written about the kids. And today we are going to study the poem which is about a very young girl, small girl, Amanda. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. There is a languid, emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Now, as you can see, the format of this stanza, there it is divided into two parts. The first part is without bracket, and it is the dialogue of a mother, right, and the parent. And the second, which is in this bracket, these are the thoughts, these are the imaginations of this little girl Amanda. Okay, now let's see what is written here. First thing, that is, don't bite your nails, Amanda. So someone is nagging, someone is scolding, someone is pointing out at the mistakes of Amanda, that just don't bite your nails. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Hunch, that means bend. So don't bend your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. Slouching, that means sitting in a lazy way. So don't sit in a lazy way. Sit up straight, Amanda. So someone is nagging continuously at the Amanda, and the mother is scolding. Mother is pointing out the mistakes of the Amanda. Now, when this mother is scolding, when the mother is nagging at her, what she used to do, she used to, in order to escape from this nagging, in order to escape from the reality, she imagines herself, she lost herself in some utopian world, right? So she doesn't like, so basically she doesn't like the reality, because in reality what happens, the parent, the mother used to scold her at every now and then, wherever she is doing any kind of even a small mistake. So she doesn't like this, and in order to escape from this nagging, in order to escape from this reality, she travels in some utopian world, some imaginary world which doesn't exist. It is, this world exists in her thoughts only. It may happen, if you have find that when in the classroom, we call people absent minded, and they are not absent minded, but rather they are not, rather they have used their mind in particular place. So they are at some particular place, not the in the classroom. That kind of things happens in your life also. So here the girl is in the another imaginary world. Now what is she thinking of herself, what is her action? Let's see here. So there is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Languid, that means relaxed. So there is a very relaxed emerald sea. Emerald here, it is a green color. Emerald is a gems. It is of a green color kind of things. It has a very green color, and there is a very relaxed green color sea is there, and there is only sole habit. Sole, that means alone, single. So there is only one inhabitant is there, and who inhabitant, that means resident, the person who reside there. So only one inhabitant, only one resident is there on that very relaxed emerald sea. And who is that inhabitant? It is a mermaid, and drifting blissfully. Now what is mermaid doing? She is drifting. That means carried slowly by the water, and blissfully, that means happily. So she is moving with this water, and she is all alone in that emerald relaxed green sea. So now with this, in the first stanza, you can see that the girls want solitude, because at her home what happens, the mother used to nag at her, right? So the first stanza, the poet is describing Amanda, a very little girl who is always pointed out by her mother for her mistakes, and how she imagines her life to be. So the poet says that the mother is pointing out Amanda for biting nails, which is a bad habit, right? And next she asks her to sit straight without bending her shoulders. Amanda, who has habit of bending her shoulders and sitting very lazily, is being pointed out because her mother wants her to sit in the right posture. At this point of time, when she is being scolded by her mother, she imagines herself to be in a very deep green sea, right? And she says that she wants to be the only resident, sole inhabitant. She wants to be herself only residents of that blissful, beautiful green sea. And she imagines herself like a mermaid, right? And who is alone there and leads her life in a very relaxing way, blissfully, right? And she says that she wants to be carried away by the current of the water, drifting, right, by the current of the water, and feel the relaxing environment there. So that is what is all about. The first stanza is written here. Okay, next. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. I am an orphan roaming the street. I pat in soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Okay, let's see. So now again the mother is nagging her, pointing out her mistake, that did you finish your homework, Amanda? It is the mother concerned that you have finished or not. Did you tidy your room, Amanda? Another the same, I think you have heard from your mothers as well. I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Okay, so the Amanda hasn't cleaned up the shoes even though the mother has commanded her to do so. So now when the mother is scolding like her, this mother is nagging like this, what is she thinking? She thinking that I am an orphan. Now she doesn't want any kind of parents, because parents' job is to just nag at the kids. So she doesn't want any parents. She wanted to be an orphan, and I am an orphan. Look at this tense. I am an orphan. So she is in the utopian imaginary world, and there she is an orphan, and she is roaming the street. If someone is roaming, then there he or she hasn't any home to go, right? So they used to roam the street, and when she is the orphan, she is roaming the street. I pat in soft dust with my hushed bare feet. She is patterning, she is making designs, soft dust with my hushed bare feet. So she is making her footprints over that soft dust, where with her hushed, that is quiet and still place, bare feet. So now she is making the pattern of her footprints, the footprints of her bare feet on a soft dust. The place is which kind of place is there, where it is very quiet and still place, where no one is there and it is very quiet, no noise is there. So she wants to roam on that street and with the bare feet, and she wanted to be an orphan. So she wants to roaming in the street like an orphan, and she wants to make her footprints on a very quiet, still place on a soft dust. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. So now there is no one, it is a very quiet and still place, right? Hushed. So it is very quiet and still place, and there is a silence, and it is like the golden, and that the freedom that orphan get, it is very sweet. So the life of an orphan is very sweet, because he or she has all freedom to do whatever they likes. Here in the real life, what happened that the Amanda has parent, and here the mother is scolding at her, pointing out at her. Someone is there watching her every day, every hour. So she wants to be an orphan. So here in the second stanza, the poet says that Amanda's mother is inquiring her about whether she has done her homework right or not, and then she asks her whether she has cleaned her room or not. Moreover, she also reminded to clean her shoes. So here we can see that the mother is constantly asking her questions regarding her homework being done or not, or whether she had cleaned up her room and shoes or not. But on the other hand, while Amanda is listening to her mother's instructions, she imagines herself to be an orphan who is roaming in the street, and this means that she imagines herself to be an orphan who is roaming in the street. And if she would have been without parents, she would have walked freely in the street. She would have drawn designs on the soft dust with her uncovered feet, bare feet, and very quietly. So we can see that she thinks opposite to her mother, and her mother wants her to keep everything neat and clean, but Amanda wants to play in dust with her bare feet. Moreover, she is so fed up of those constant instructions from her mother that she says silence is golden, right? Which means that silence is very crucial and precious. And she further says that the freedom is sweet. This means that she never feels free when she is with her mother. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. Okay, now let's see what is written here. So the mother is again nagging, don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. So she is not letting her to eat that chocolate. Of course, the chocolate is bad for her health. Remember your acne, Amanda. So chocolate even over. So you have to even take care of your acne. Acne, that means pimples. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? So you have to look at the parent when they were speaking to you. It's a bad manner, right? So she doesn't want to look at her mother, but still the mother is nagging at her. So now what she thinks herself, I am Rapunzel. Now Rapunzel is a girl in a fairy tale by Brother Grimm. Now she has a very long hair, and she was captured in a tower by a witch, and the witch used to climb up the tower with the help of long hair of Rapunzel that were laid down by her through that window. And so that is the Rapunzel. Okay, and here what happened that I am a Rapunzel. So she considered herself as a Rapunzel who is captured in the tower. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. what she thinks that life in a tower, when Rapunzel was captured in that tower by the witch. But here what she thinks that I wish I could be this Rapunzel, and I am the Rapunzel, and I am captured, and I have not to care. No one is there to care for me. No one is there to look for me. No one is there to watch for me. Okay, so I am alone in that tower. So, and life in that tower is very tranquil, that means very quiet and very calm, and it is rare because here the mother is there and she is just pointing out at her mistakes every single minute. So she wants to escape from this home. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. So now the Rapunzel, as I told you, that she used to let down her bright long hair from the windows, and that long hair, from that long hair, the witch used to climb up in the tower, and this is how the witch used to come up into the room of that Rapunzel. But here what she will do, she will never let down her bright hair from that window, so no one would able to come to in the tower. So she wants loneliness, solitude. Okay, so in this stanza, Amanda's mother is disallowing her to eat chocolates. She reminds her of pimple that Amanda faces due to eating chocolates, right? And at last she scolds her not paying attention to what her mother says. So, and at this moment, Amanda imagines herself to be the Rapunzel. And as I told you, it was a character from a fairy tale that was captured in the tower by a witch. And the same witch used to climb the tower with the help of her long hair of this Rapunzel, and that were laid down by Rapunzel herself through the window. And so now Amanda wants to be Rapunzel. Because she feels that the life in the tower will be peaceful and unusual. She thinks she will be free and live in a peaceful environment in the tower, and she also confirms to herself that she will never let her hair down to anyone, so that nobody could come to her in the tower. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You're always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Okay, so again, mother is nagging at her. Stop that sulking. Sulking, that means to be in a bad mood. So when the mother or parent used to scold you, nag at you, you would be of course in a very bad mood. So the mother is even telling her that stop that being in a bad mood at once, right now, Amanda. Right now, just stop that bad mood phase. You're always so moody, Amanda. This we also heard, that when we get sad, or when we get upset from our parents, they used to tell us that you are so moody, right? And she got the same nagging. You are sorry, anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. It generally happens when the guests come, or maybe we are at outside with the kids, right? So now the mother is telling everything, but here look at the, now there is no bracket is given. That means Amanda has stopped her imaginations even. Now she is fed up with this. Now there would be no escapism for her at all. So in this stanza, you can see that Amanda's mother now warned her for behaving in a very odd manner, and she asks her to stop being in a very bad mood, right? And moreover, she blames of her having such unstable mood, You're so moody, right? And she also scolded her by saying that her behavior will one day make people think that Amanda was constantly being harassed by her mother. So it happens. So here we can say that through Amanda, though Amanda is always pointed out by her mother on every small thing, but she can't react to this, and it happens to all the kids. And if she reacts towards this by getting emotional, her mother takes this against her sense of pride and scolds her that she should not behave like this, as others would think that Amanda's mother is very dominating towards her child. So this is what the poem is all about. So let's just recall the whole poem. So here you can see that okay. So this poem describes a girl named Amanda and her mother who is nagging at her for her mistakes, and she is first pointed out most probably by her mother for biting her nails and for not sitting in the right posture. And the mother also feels that the Amanda sits in a very lazy manner. To this, Amanda imagines herself as the mermaid who lives in a calm and relaxing, who lives a very calm and relaxing life in the beautiful emerald sea, green sea. And further, the mother nagged for her not cleaning her room and shoes, and also for not doing her homework. And she then imagines herself to be an orphan because she is now fed up of being watched by her parents continuously and constantly. So she says that she would have enjoyed her freedom than by making the pattern of her bare feet on the sand, and would live a very peaceful life. Next, Amanda is scolded for eating too many chocolates, as this causes pimples or acne. And she is also scolded for not listening to her mother. And so now Amanda thinks of her being Rapunzel, which is a character from a fairy tale, and wants to live in a very huge tower like her. And in that tower she will be alone and will live a very peaceful life and will never allow anyone to come in. Finally, the mother asks her to stop being moody because she doesn't want anyone to blame her for harassing her daughter. At this time, the poet has not written any reaction from Amanda's side, right? Here nothing is written there, and this constant nagging has made her so sad that she has even stopped to imagine herself as someone else. And she used to do so in order to escape from the continuous harassment and dominance of her parents. Okay. So I hope you like this poem. Thank you very much, students. Keep reading.